Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about blood vascular system in pila globosa. In pila, due to double mode of respiration, the blood vascular system of pila has become very much complicated and it is of open type. If we discuss about the blood, it is blue in color. It contains plasma and corpuscles. The plasma contains a blue pigment called hemocyanin, which gives the blue color to the blood. The corpuscles are colorless. Myself, Dr. Balram Sai, Assistant Professor in Zoology, Government Dungar College, Bikaner. Blood vascular system of pila globosa. It consists of following parts. These are the pericardium, heart, arteries, sinuses, veins through which the blood flows. Now we will discuss each one in detail. Pericardium. The pericardium is a thin-walled ovoid sac lying dorsally on the left side of the body wall behind the mental cavity. It extends anteriorly up to the stomach and digestive gland. Pericardium is a fairly deep cavity which communicates with that of the posterior renal chamber through a renopericardial aperture. The pericardium corresponds to the coelom of the annelids and vertebrates. It encloses the two chambers of the heart, the main aortic arches and the aortic ampulla. Next is the heart. If we talk about the heart of pila globosa has a single auricle and one ventricle found enclosed in the pericardium. Physiologically, the heart is said to be myogenic. If we discuss about auricle, the auricle lies in the dorsal part of the pericardium, while the ventricle is situated just below it in the same vertical axis. The auricle is a thin-walled, highly contractile sac and more or less triangular in shape. Here you can see the picture of the heart of the pila, one auricle and one ventricle. Auricle is thin-walled, highly contractile sac-like structure. If we discuss about the ventricle is ovoidal in shape and has thick spongy wall formed of a large number of muscular strands forming a meshwork which greatly reduces the cavity of the ventricle. In ventricle, the aortic trunk rises from the lower end of the ventricle and divides immediately into two branches, the cephalic aorta and the visceral aorta. Here you can see from the picture cephalic aorta and visceral aorta. The opening between the ventricle and the aortic trunk is guided by two semilunar valves which prevent the flow of blood from back into the ventricle. Next is the arteries. From the ventricle arises an aorta or aortic trunk which divides into two branches, a cephalic aorta and visceral aorta. If we discuss about the cephalic aorta immediately beyond aortic ampulla gives out three arteries. This is the picture with the help of which we will discuss the cephalic aorta. first supplying to the skin the cutaneous artery. Before going to the cutaneous artery, we will show you the cephalic aorta. This is the ventricle from which cephalic aorta and visceral aorta arises, and from cephalic aorta the first artery supplying to the skin is the cutaneous artery. Here you can see this is the cutaneous artery which is supplying blood to the skin. Next, second supplying to the esophagus, the esophageal artery. We have already discussed about the cutaneous artery, which is the first artery, and then is the esophageal artery which supplies blood to the esophagus. The third, being stout and thick, supplies to the left side of the mantle, that is the organs like left knuckle and osphradium, the left pallial artery. Here is the left pallial artery which supplies to the osphradium, and the left siphon artery arises here, and this left pallial artery supplies blood to the osphradium and the left knuckle lobe. The cephalic aorta on its inner side gives out an artery supplying to the pericardium, renal chambers, and to the portion of the genital organs, the pericardial artery. Here you can see the pericardial artery which is supplying blood to the pericardium, renal chambers, and the genital organs. The main trunk of the cephalic aorta then runs ahead and crosses over the esophagus so as to reach to its right side. It now gives off numerous small branches to the esophageal area and a large branch to the right side, which finally gives out the right pallial artery. Here you can see it then branches, this branch, then the radular sac artery supplying blood to the radula part, and this is the right pallial artery which is supplying to the right part of the mantle, right siphonal artery. This is the right siphonal artery supplying to the right knuckle lobe, and the pineal artery supplying blood to the copulatory organ. Here you can see the main trunk of the cephalic aorta, however, also branches to give a radular sac artery supplying to the radular sac, which we have already discussed. This is the radular sac artery. Then an optic artery supplying to the eye stalk and the eyes. Here you can see the optic artery supplying blood to the eye stalks and the eyes. Then you can see the tentacular artery supplying to the tentacles, first tentacle and the second tentacle, and the pedal artery is supplying to the foot. This is the pedal artery, here you can see, which is supplying blood to the foot. Next is the visceral aorta. The visceral aorta runs into the visceral mass and supplies to its different organs by giving off many branches. These branches are as follows. A pericardial artery to the pericardium. Here you can see the pericardial artery which gives supply to the pericardium, skin, and digestive glands. Then a gastric artery to the stomach. Here you can see the gastric artery which is giving supply to the stomach, Then the many small intestinal arteries to the intestine. Here you can see intestinal arteries, branches you can see, which supplies to the intestine part. Then many renal arteries to the roof of the posterior renal chamber. Here you can see the posterior renal chamber, and here you can see the renal artery which supplies blood to the roof of the posterior renal chamber. Then a hepatic artery to the digestive gland and the gonad. Hepatic artery here you can see which gives supply to the digestive gland and the gonads. Several small arteries to the tip of the genital duct, and then finally the visceral aorta terminates in the rectal wall. That's all in today's lecture, and in the next lecture we will continue with the circulatory system, the remaining parts, which are sinuses, the chief veins involved in the blood circulation, and the pathway of blood circulation in phyla. Thanks a lot for paying the attention.